why is it so low?
Well, I actually heard Ben Horowitz talk about this about 2 months ago, the very subject, and he said it was about pattern matching, which you've probably heard that phrase. So, and you know as well, in Silicon Valley, there's a very, very typical VC. He's wearing chinos. He has got a blue light shirt on, and he wears flip-flops a lot on the train on the way home. But he basically pattern matches. So if he sees someone, and I'm using he a lot because of the nature of what happens, he sees someone comes in and they look like him, so basically he wants to hire people like him. And that's what Ben Horowitz, who's a leading VC, said is a struggle for a lot of women, is because a lot of VCs don't see themselves when people walk in the door. So they're trying to, trying to get a lot more VCs in Silicon Valley, because they will actually invest more if there's, this sort of, it's just a habit. People are pattern match. Yeah.
And what about the experience here in Ireland? Have you had that experience when you go in to pitch to people? Do you tend to, Leonora and Sonia, do you tend to be in front of all male panels? Or
quite often, I think, quite often. And I think, I don't know what the statistics around it are, but I'm only guessing that the rise of female entrepreneurialism is heading in the right direction. And I think a lot of it is you can only challenge pattern matching if you change the norm. So the more you force people to become immersed in this idea that women are part of the issue, then the more normalized it becomes. But yeah, you do find yourself being there, and then your opportunity is to be kind of bold and just work it, because you have a novelty value, and there's a very strong chance you're wearing the brightest color of the day, and so you actually do have a great opportunity to stand out. But I think there's a great phrase I heard, which is speaking to an audience without knowing them is like sending a love letter starting to whom this does concern, or to whom this may concern, and I think it's a case, and this is what I'm learning now, because I'm not claiming to have cracked it, but the more you talk and the more you present, the more you realize you have to connect on their terms, and whether you're a woman or not, that is an immutable truth. So the more you speak their language, whether you look pattern matched or not, the better.
Leonora, your own experience?
Well, I agree with everything Sonia has said, and my experience is that, well, we just closed a funding round of 750,000 last month. So, and I went to all those meetings myself. So, and then the formula is that you should have X amount of founders going into these meetings, and I didn't. So not only was I a woman, but I was on my own at these meetings as well. And I did have certain comments that were humorous, kind of borderline sexist comments, but you take those with a pinch of salt and you take it on the chin. And I believe in years to come there'll be so many examples of women in business that those kind of comments will be a thing of the past. But I'm a serious business person, so I didn't wear any colour, I always wear a black suit. Just talk to them. You always have to put yourself into their shoes, and then 5 minutes into the conversation, they know what you're about, and it's a serious conversation. So we managed to close the round with those challenges. So hopefully one of the statistics.
It can be done.
Yeah, it can be done.
I think that the DNA of very different companies, but the DNA of Dropbox and Eventbrite are similar in terms of, we focus on finding the best possible talent to join our team who not only have a confluence of factors, including skills, impact, and that cultural fit, but we also have taken part in programs. There's a program in San Francisco called HackBrite, which is a program focused on female engineers, and have hired 3 or 4 HackBrite scholar or engineers in the last year. So that's been great and rewarding. We've also hired April Chang, who was previously at PayPal, as our VP of Engineering for Consumer Discovery, and that's really exciting. But those are just milestones along the way. It's not like we're sitting there going, okay, we need to find more women. And actually, I hadn't actually counted our gender balance until just in the last year, and I had to get sort of like, not secretly, but I got a whole list of the company, and I did it myself one night because I didn't want to freak anybody out, right? And like, I felt like maybe by asking for it, I would frighten somebody. And it was great because I was doing this like victory lap around the living room, and Kevin's like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "We have a balanced company." I can't believe it. It's so exciting that we've created this company organically and created an equal opportunity, and we have this nice gender balance. And I just think that it's completely possible, and yes, it's a challenge to find women, especially in engineering, but I also see really exciting trends in the right direction. Now, we're not there. It's obviously going to be decades upon decades, but I think every woman deserves to be hired for their skill and their impact and who they are beyond their gender.
I think there's pieces that you can do to be proactive on that as well. So, for example, in Dropbox we have interview panels, and that's going to be comprised of people from a range of different backgrounds, different functions within the organisation, and different levels of seniority. So by having those panels, you already have a diverse panel in place, and that helps counter some of those issues when you're looking to hire people.
I think it's much easier to address this issue in young companies, though. I think the real issue is when you have, an existing corporate entity that has, so if you count up all the numbers and divide them into what do you get, that's not the issue. The issue is that it's heavy in women at the bottom and in the middle, and they fall away beyond that for external and internal reasons, I suppose. So it's not as easy as that. And I think in terms of kind of normalising what people's expectations are for gender balance, the exciting time is being surrounded by people who are creating new cultures which are going to become the norm,